After the success of the Monterey Pop Festival, psychedelia was in full form and full bloom, and Donovan, by late '67, did one of the quintessential psychedelic songs, Wear Your Love Like Heaven.
Color in sky, Prussian blue, scarlet fleece changes hue.
I've always felt that Wear Your Love Like Heaven displayed some of the finest psychedelic lyrics around at the time. Now that single hit number 23, didn't get released in the UK. Now, by this time, Donovan had started a relationship with Enid KARL, and together they had a son. And because of this union and the newborn, Donovan was planning to do an album of children's songs. And he had moved in the spring of '67 to a cottage in Hertfordshire, so he's kind of getting back to nature, and he presented this to Mickey Most, the producer, and Most said, no, we can't do that. That's not gonna sell. So there was a brief split with Mickey Most during this time, and Donovan produced his own music himself. Now, in his cottage in Hertfordshire, he went on this writing binge and had enough for 2 albums. So the first album I'll talk about here is Wear Your Love Like Heaven.
To think upon all that is fair, to look upon and to touch. Oh gosh, life is really too much. Mad, mad, mad John, mad, mad John, mad, mad, mad John, mad, mad John. I wish I had a wish to wish a wish away. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me. They don't know it's quicker to go by natural velocity.
Now the second disc is got a similar photograph. It's taken from the same photo shoot, but different graphics, and it's called For Little Ones.
In the golden garden, bird of peace, how high the gulls fly O'Reilly. So begins another spring, green leaves and doveberry. Blow home my true love's ship to me, fill the sail, I am weird. One brings sorrow and one brings joy, sorrow and joy for me.
Now, oddly enough, the Wear Your Love Like Heaven album, which is supposed to be more for adults and For Little Ones, obviously more for kids, the songs on this album sound more childlike, and this sounds more adult to me. So I always just figure he got the titles mixed up, but that's just me. So these albums are more stripped down than the prior 2 albums, more acoustic, puts you in a very mellow mood. There's like crashing wave sound effects. There's some gentle harpsichord and strings and banjos. Donovan plays guitar, banjo, and harmonica on these records, and the instrumentalists include Eric Lees on electric guitar, Cliff Barton on bass, Jack Bruce on bass, Ken Baldock on double bass, Michael Neal keyboards, Keith Webb drums, Tony Carr drums, bells, congas, and finger cymbals, Mike Carr on vibraphone, and Candy John Carr on congas. Last but not least, Harold McNair on flute. So we have a somewhat eclectic lineup of instrumentalists here. And again, it's more of a quiet jazz set, and it's just very mellow. Okay, for my money, I think he would have been better served, and his audience would have been better served of paring this down to a single disc. Some great stuff on both of these, but some of it sounds like other songs on it, and I could do without a few of the tracks. Now, initially, Donovan wanted to put this album out in a box set, and Clive Davis, who was the president of Epic, didn't want that. He said, no, that's usually reserved for classical music. This is what Donovan wanted. And Clive Davis made a deal with him. He said, okay, we're going to put it out my way, individual albums, and then we'll put it out your way, but you're going to have to pay for the additional costs of the packaging. So Donovan agreed. Now, when it was released as 2 different records like this, For Little Ones got to number 185, and Wear Your Love Like Heaven got to number 60. So not too good. But when it was released as a box set in January of 1968, the box called A Gift from a Flower to a Garden got all the way up to number 19. So Donovan was vindicated. If you want to get this album as a double album, I bought this, I think, in the 90s, and this is how it's available now. I think you can get it in a couple different ways, but it's essentially the same as the box set. Here, Donovan's shown on the back with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He was already hanging with them, just like the Beatles were at roughly the same time. And the photograph, let me just back up here. Well, this infrared style photograph was shot by KARL FERRIS. And the castle that you see on this album here, this is Bodiam Castle. So very cool photography on here. Now you can really see Donovan is projecting himself as this flower child, and this is where he gets criticized for being excessively dainty or fey. So that came mostly from this album. And this album did very well in the UK, as I mentioned, and it eventually hit gold record status in 1970. So it sold very well. And the tracks on here, it's got this kind of mystical beauty, peace and love type of vibe to the whole thing. So this is really, the hippie movement music was really exemplified by this album. And some of the tracks are a little bit much to take, but some of the tracks are excellent examples of psychedelic music from 1967.